expenses. Still ahead, as President Biden pushes his economic plan, we're about to speak live with the Transportation Secretary. There he is, Pete Buttigieg. We'll discuss when we come back. President Biden spent this afternoon in Illinois pushing his Build Back Better economic agenda. He's also trying, I should say, to build support for his plans to spend trillions of dollars on roads, bridges, and other infrastructure. We're joined now by the President's Secretary of Transportation, Pete Buttigieg. Mr. Secretary, thanks so much for joining us. You've been on this program talking with me several times over the past few weeks. Each time you and I discuss the infrastructure plans, why is it now July and a true breakthrough has yet to actually happen? When do you think we're likely to get at least an initial breakthrough?
Well, let's remember, by any normal reckoning, this is happening at lightning speed. And I would say a major breakthrough was when the president did something you don't see very often these days, which is walking out of the West Wing of the White House with Republican and Democratic senators at his side and announcing that they had reached the framework of an infrastructure agreement. Now, it still takes a lot of work to put that into legislative text, to marry it with the work that the House and the Senate committees have already been doing on things like the surface transportation bill. Obviously, there's a lot of complexity to that, but there is fantastic progress being made in turning that into policy, turning it into law, and hopefully getting it to the president's desk as quickly as possible, because the American people have been wondering for years why Infrastructure Week kept turning into a punchline. We've finally got a chance to do the things we need to do, from roads and bridges to airports and ports to things that go beyond my transportation lane, like getting lead out of our pipes and getting internet to every family. It's time to get it done. The American people want to get it done, and remarkably, we have a bipartisan agreement, even in today's Washington, about how to get it done.
It's so critically important indeed. As you know, Mitch McConnell is now vowing, and I'm quoting him now, he's vowing a hell of a fight. Are Democrats ready for that? Because you're going to need every single one of them fully on board in order to get this passed.
So I think the part that the senator was referring to fighting was what the president was speaking about today. But I think, the more Americans hear about this, the more the support is going to deepen. There's already enormous support. In fact, last I checked, about 3/4 of Republicans think we ought to be investing more in the care economy. The things the president talked about today, getting every family 12 weeks, up to 12 weeks of paid family leave. But think about what that would mean to millions of American families. Making sure that there's access to pre-kindergarten education for 3- and 4-year-olds. Making sure that we get 2 years of free community college. The child care provisions. These are things that would make such a difference immediately, and the American people are right there with the president. So we got two pieces now. We got the transportation piece, which is part of that bipartisan framework, Republicans and Democrats agreeing together. And then we have what we call the human infrastructure piece that the president shared today. I'm not giving up on the idea that we can persuade Republicans to vote for that as well, although that's on the path that would call for 50 votes. But any way you cut it, the American people want us to get this done. Earlier, when this was all part of one package, a lot of our Republican friends were saying, yeah, that's good stuff, the child care, the health care, the veteran support, that's all good, but it's not, we don't think it's infrastructure, so it should be in a separate package. Now it is in a separate package, and I'd like to know if they'll support it now.
We will find out fairly soon. Mr. Secretary, thank you so much for joining us. Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg, once again, thank you. Appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you.
All right.